I have this horrible little habit. Alarm goes off and I turn it off. And instead of getting up like a functioning adult, I go straight to X to find out what I've missed. Not my reels, not who liked my content, the world. Because things move so fast nowadays that my brain's decided if I don't check, I'm going to be blindsided. And the weird part is I'm watching myself do it. In the background of my mind, there's this running commentary. Why are you doing this? Why don't you just get out of bed? Why are you feeding yourself catastrophe for breakfast? And the other part of me is going, yeah, but what if? What if? What if? So I set a second alarm on purpose, not for waking up, but just for snapping me out of the scroll. Because if I didn't, I could easily lose an hour in bed while the dogs are crying for the loo and breakfast, while I'm mainlining the global catastrophic crap storm. Now here's what you'll discover in the rest of this podcast episode: why doomscrolling isn't a discipline problem, it's your threat system doing its job, what 400 micro-stressors actually looks like in real life and why it drains you, the leaky barrel explanation for why therapy and tools don't stick when your system load stays high, how to build a neuro-regulated environment without copying some influencer's beige routine, my 3-step simple model to quickly overcome digital overload, practical home protocols for morning spirals and bedtime with no 40-step nonsense, phone hygiene that creates freedom without turning you into your mum. Now, the reality is most of us, we're not lazy, we're just overexposed. So let's get something straight. This is not a willpower problem. The problem isn't your discipline. It's the fact that we're all living in a state of permanent competition for our energy. Multiple things, all demanding attention, all needing it yesterday. And your brain wasn't built for never-ending relentless exposure to fear-based events and experiences. And when you understand that, it's way easier to grasp the fact that you're not actually failing at life. You're just trying to run a human nervous system in an environment that it didn't evolve for. And when people tell me they're burnt out, it's rarely one big thing. Most often, it's death by 1,000 pings. Here are the ones I hear the most: work pressure that never ends, family needs that never end, food prices and the constant "we're fine" maths, expectations from others, feeling like you're never enough, second guessing everything, being on call 24/7, work or family, guilt for taking time out, comparison to curated influencer lives, unpredictability in the country and the world, and the feeling of being completely out of control. And none of these are dramatic on their own, but together they turn your system into a leaky barrel. So I was watching a YouTube video on natural fertilizers because we're building raised horticulture vegetable beds in the garden, and I'm apparently 74 now. Anyway, while talking about the right chemical balance, they mentioned Liebig's law of the minimum. The example they used was an old barrel being filled with water, talking through the fact that if there's a hole or the planks have separated, the barrel is only able to fill to the lowest point. Therefore, the plant's minerals can never reach at the optimum level. And as I was sitting watching this, it hit me. This is a great way to explain exactly what happens in the human body. Because when trying to heal from emotional trauma, you can do therapy, you can do breath work, you can even do journaling. But if your barrel is full of tiny holes thanks to stress hormones being pumped out all day, you'll always feel like you're running on empty. And can we please stop pretending mental wellness is separate from physical wellness? You don't leave your mind at home and head out the door. You are one whole system. We've been sold a lie that 12 weeks of therapy or a magic pill will undo decades of emotional turbulence while ignoring the scientifically proven effects of micro-stressors building up over time. And the fact is, your brain doesn't need regulating, your body does. Your brain's the TV aerial, your body's the TV. You can twiddle the aerial all day, but if the TV isn't plugged in, nothing will work. And oh, FYI, there's no one-size-fits-all regulated environment. The only rule that matters is how you feel. Expansive is good, contractive is bad. And if a messy room feels expansive to you, that's great. Minimalist white walls make you feel like you're in a dentist waiting room, also valid. And when XYZ influences stress less environment hack you found on Instagram doesn't seem to make you feel like you're walking on cloud nine, it's not that you're broken. The prescription just wasn't built for you. And here's the simplest way I teach people to stop letting the internet or anything else hijack their nervous system. My 3F success principles: free, flip, and flood. So free, take a moment to check in with how you actually feel after what you just read, heard, or experienced. If it's negative, don't pretend it's fine, release it. Use EFT, go for a walk, journal, use a CBT technique you learnt the 4th time you went around the therapy circuit, whatever works for you. Flip, ground yourself back in the present moment, not the what if future, not that I should have passed, this moment right now. Flood, take 90 seconds to future-proof your next steps by pulling on a positive past experience so that you can swarm your body with hormones it needs to move forward. Regardless of the negative trigger, the methodology is the same. The only thing that changes is the tools that you decide to use. So I'm going to keep this next bit super simple because you don't need another 40-step morning routine. Here's some quick, non-pretentious home protocols that you can use right now. Number 1, the first 30 minutes, aka your nervous system's set point. So the first 30 minutes of your day are vital. I journal with one specific intention: flood my mind with as many good memories as possible. Because if you start your day with fear, your system will spend the rest of the day scanning for more fear. Number 2, the I slipped protocol, which is all about reality anchoring, not toxic positivity. So when you notice you've slipped emotionally, grab your journal, flick through it, remind yourself of all the good things that are true, not toxic positivity, reality anchoring. Number 3, the bedtime protocol. So find just one small miracle. So before bed, find one miracle in the day, one good thing, one moment. Then focus on that as you drift off. That's intentional daydreaming, and it matters. Also, here's a little phone hygiene without me becoming your mum. I love tech, but I also refuse to be tethered to it. And here's what works for me without moralising. My phone lives on silent except calls from my partner. I use my phone when I have time, not because it demands of me. I don't have socials on my home screen. If I want an app, I type it into the search, which I like to call friction on purpose. It kicks into grayscale from 10 p.m. and stays on aeroplane mode overnight until the alarm goes off next morning. Just remember, it's a tool, not a leash. Now here's a quick self-test just to see if you're digitally dysregulated. No labels, no shame, just signals. So if silence or downtime has you reaching for your phone, and not because you're reading a book on the Kindle app, your system is probably overloaded. And if your first 10 minutes awake include news or social media, you're feeding your threat system before you've even stood up. And yes, I know, I literally admitted to doing the exact same thing sometimes, but I'm human, not a robot, and I'm working on kicking the habit. And if you feel that constant on-call urgency, even when nothing's happening, you're not relaxed, you're braced. And here comes the screams of, but I love tech. FYI, samesies. Look, despite everything I said, I love tech. I love brainstorming with AI. I love using my microphone to get my conscious thoughts transcribed into something useful. I love real-time feedback when I'm training. But you have to step back and ask, are you exercising to prove a point to the machine tracking you and the big data business deciding what to market you? Or are you exercising because it brings you enjoyment and helps you heal? Because you can't do both. So I don't have a Fitbit. I lose my phone daily. Unintentionally, kinda. I exercise because it's good for me. I eat healthy because it's fuel. My genes will tell me if I've eaten too much, and there's already enough drama in the world. I'm absolutely not adding more to line somebody else's advertising pocket. And here's the bottom line: you don't need more discipline, you need less system load. So the reality is, you're not broken, you're not weak, you're a human nervous system trying to live inside an attention economy. And if you want to stop feeling like you're running on empty, you don't need more discipline, you just need less system load. And if you want to understand why digital overload hits you the way it does and what actually regulates your system, take my happiness archetype test, because your wiring decides what overwhelms you, what you tolerate, and what brings you back to baseline. Link in the show notes below.